Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to start the first in a series where we talk about reducing our MTI, or what is known as the mother tongue influence. If you remember, we spoke about this earlier where we discussed that when one language influences another, the accent or the manner in which you speak gets impacted. Now, there are various aspects which influence an accent. It can be your regional language, it can be your mother tongue, it can be your socio-economic background, among other things. In order to reduce your MTI, you would have to understand how the sounds of English are pronounced. And in order to understand how the sounds of English are pronounced, you would need to understand the mechanism or the machinery that you are using to pronounce those sounds or to articulate those sounds. So what I want you to do is, first please think about what are the parts of your mouth and throat that you're using to produce various sounds. And once you have thought about it, I want you to follow me as we explore the mechanism and understand the various parts that enable us to produce the various sounds. So of course, to start with, we know that the sounds are essentially being produced in the throat, right? Or the voice box, what we call the larynx. And then the sound travels up and is produced on the exhaled breath, right? So if you put a hand in front of your face while talking, you will actually feel the exhaled breath on your hand. Can you speak while inhaling? I would want you to try. And if you are successful, please don't hesitate in sharing your video. I would love to see that, because I've tried and I couldn't. Because essentially we all speak on the exhaled breath. Okay. So what are the parts of your mouth that you're using to produce various sounds? Let's take an example of the sound P. P. So words like parrot, papa have the P sound in them. And as I'm sure you've understood, we are using our lips to produce that sound. So one of the parts of the machinery or the mechanism are your lips. Let us now take a look at the word or the sound F, like father, fix, fantastic. We are using the lips. What else are we using? Can you see or feel yourself using your teeth when you bite your lower lip and say F, right? So the teeth are another part of the machinery. Let us now understand the other parts of the mouth. When you say L, like lion, you are using your tongue, of course, a very important part of the machinery. And now let's explore the little known parts which will be integral in helping you to figure out how to use this machinery to produce the sound correctly and of course to reduce your MTI. Okay, so I want you to feel inside your mouth with your tongue, and I want you to feel the part where the teeth end and the gums start, right? That part is known as the gum ridge or the alveolar ridge. It's not important to remember these technical terms, honestly, but when we try to understand how the sounds are produced, we would be using these technical terms to ensure that we are enunciating the sound properly. And trust me, if you're using the right parts to enunciate the sound will definitely be correct and your accent will become polished in English. Okay? So the part where the gums start is known as the gum ridge or the alveolar ridge. If you pull your tongue back a little, you will feel this bump-like structure. Yeah? Can you feel that? That bump-like structure is known as the post-alveolar ridge. Okay? If you pull your tongue further back, you will reach the roof of the mouth. That is known as the hard palate. Okay? And if you pull the tip of your tongue further towards your throat, you are going to feel some rough, soft tissue, which is known as the soft palate. Okay? Now, let's quickly recap the articulators that we've spoken about. We've spoken about the voice box or the larynx. We've spoken about the lips, the teeth, the tongue, the gum ridge or the alveolar ridge, the bump-like structure or the post-alveolar ridge, the roof of the mouth or the hard palate, and the rough, soft tissue at the back or the soft palate. Okay? If you want a diagram explaining this, please click on the link in the description and you can download the diagram and understand it better. Since you now know the articulators, I am going to give you an example of one sound which is pronounced differently in English and in the native Indian languages. And hopefully I'll demonstrate how slightly changing the parts of the machinery that you're using, the pronunciation will actually get changed. Okay? So the sound that we are going to talk about is the D sound. Okay? Now, I have already given this example earlier where I've given the example and demonstrated of how the D sound is pronounced slightly differently in English as compared to how we pronounce it in our native languages. Okay, so can any of you tell me what are the articulators that we use when we produce the D sound? If you think that it is the post-alveolar ridge or the bump-like structure or the hard palate, right? So if I say David, that is more like the Indian way of producing the D sound, what you have in your native script or the native language. And when you use the gum ridge or the alveolar ridge, the part where the gums start, the sound becomes softer. Okay, so it becomes like the D sound. D, 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 D. David, 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 David. Hear the difference? So we've discussed one sound today. We've understood what the articulators are. And I would want you to practice this sound, and I want you to list down at least 20 words which have this sound in them, and please pronounce that and get back to me in case you face any challenges. I hope you like this. I am going to be back tomorrow with another sound. Please remember the details of the articulators though, because I would not be explaining it again. And we shall continue trying to understand the sounds that are slightly different in English and in our native languages. And we are going to get rid of our mother tongue influence or the native language influence so that we can speak English confidently, fluently, and with a very nice accent. That's all for today. Thank you so much for being with me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye.